Within about 24 hours we had 17 or 18 all around us on the horizon.
And that was pretty awesome. Like that, they're amazing.
Well, it's 11:30 at night now, Tuesday, nearly 2 weeks since we left. We're 70 miles out of Antarctica and we've just got into the pack ice.
So that was really the first big challenge that was out of the ordinary, was pack ice, you know. Pretty exciting but scary stuff.
And we kind of ogled that for a while and then went, oh, now what do we do?
Ideally you have a huge icebreaker, you know, and you crunch through it, but in our case we just had a little wee yacht.
At this stage we were being pretty paranoid. The boat's only 3 mil steel. Icebreakers are 20 or 30 mil thick.
The idea is to try and find clear water and go around it, and or go, you know, find a little wee gap and sneak through. But it's not quite as easy as that. If you're lucky, you make it to the open water. If you're not, it's closed up and you have to come back and try and find another slot to go through. And if you're really unlucky, it's closed up behind you and you get squashed.
We're just sailing along it trying to find a way through.
It's like, sort of like being in a big maze, but you don't know that there's a way through either. We had to sort of work it out as we went, being pretty careful. We went in and followed what we call a lead, which is a big sort of open water, almost like a river.
So you're sort of weaving your way through sort of all this massive ice.
Quite a mission getting through here. Keep thinking we'll find leads and it's a bit like a maze.
It got to a point where there was just no way ahead. It was just a whole mass of ice ahead of us and on each side of us.
The wind had changed, which means that the crack in the ice is going to start closing again, so we headed out.
We're going to have to try and find our way back the way we've come and try again. It's a bit of a bummer. It's going to be a long night.
We headed out back into open water and hunted around sort of further to the west.
Geez, that was pretty freaky, eh? We followed an open lead, pretty wide open lead, down towards the southwest, and just started to close in, continue to close in, and I could see open water ahead here, but trying to get to it, we had to twist and turn and duck and dodge and weave. Yeah, don't want to do that again. But we made it, we're out. We're in open water. I think we're now in the shore lead.
About 18 hours basically in the ice.
Along that whole coast, mostly it's just big 100-foot high ice cliffs, so there's nowhere to anchor, no shelter, and this one little spot, Cape Denison inside Commonwealth Bay, has a little wee rocky outcrop.
First thing you could see that was an indication we were approaching was a cross up on a hill.
100 years ago, an Australian guy, Mawson, went down there and they found this spot and they built a hut there and spent a year or 2 years living there in the hut doing scientific stuff. So that's the significance for Australia, the historic significance of you know, the first Australian Antarctic expedition.
Little did we imagine when we landed in calm sunshine that we had established ourselves in the most tempest-ridden spot on the face of the globe. For the whole year, the average wind velocity was 48.5 miles an hour. The worst day was in May, when the wind reached 90.1 miles continuously for an hour.
It's on record as being the windiest place in the world, so I thought, that's pretty cool to go to the windiest spot in the world.
We could easily have a 100-knot gale, which is about 180 or 200 kilometres an hour, next day for all we knew, so we had to get the boat trussed up. We spent about 5 hours laying out a whole series of ropes to the shore, and my impression was it's just simply so bloody cold. My hands were frozen. So I'd be making cups of tea, just hot drinks, and keeping hot water bottles going for the guys who'd come back with a rope. They'd be frozen solid. Warm them up again, then they'd have to set another rope out onto the shore. We had 5 ropes going ashore around rocks. Just basically had the boat stropped up like a little parcel where it couldn't move.
We were pretty tired because we'd just got through the pack ice, and it's a big day.
Once that was done, it was 5 in the morning, and it was just a relief. We broke out the rum and just sat talking. We were all talking, all talking at the same time for about an hour until we crashed and slept till about 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
It's gone. We had 3 really good days with no wind at all. Yeah, it was great, just hung out there.
Erected for Denison and Mertz, who had died there in a sledging expedition that went wrong.
The leader, Dr. Mawson, Xavier Mertz and Lieutenant Ninnis took the 2 dog teams. Their mission was to explore the coast as far east as possible.
Only Mawson returned after Ninnis fell down a crevasse with most of the food and supplies, and Mertz succumbed to starvation on the long journey home.
What are you up to?
Matt, the big fat ass, jumped on that seat this morning and broke it, so he can get some repairs.
What has he done here? Oh, bloody hell, Matt. How'd you manage that? I've had this dinghy for 5 years and I've never managed to break it.
You weakened it for me.
Now we know who ate all the lollies.
Cape Denison is home to thousands of Adelie penguins. Apart from their constant noise and smell, they were the most entertaining little creatures, and it was hard to believe they could survive in such a harsh environment.
You quit your job, screw you around, screw you around, screw you around.
Matt's doing some washing. He did it last
really
night.
Too well.
He did it last night and hung it up. And it's
Use it as
frozen. Hey, it's a bit steamy in here. I better wipe the lens.
It's like a
Oh,
mace.
that's better. Oh well, the heater's on. Got the little diesel heater burning away. Look, down there. Hopefully that'll warm everything up. Friends of ours Don and Margie McIntyre. They were running a cruise ship down there called Orion, so we knew that they were coming down around the 20th, and sure enough they turned up there. They'd had a lot of problems with the ice being much thicker and tougher than they expected, so that was kind of neat to know that we'd got through the ice that they'd struggled with.
All the weather reports and Snow Petrel. Yeah, top effort.
It was a bit of a shock to the system to have people around. You know, we'd just got used to being alone in this vast wilderness.
They opened up Mawson's hut and we had a look inside, which was pretty amazing because it's pretty much perfectly preserved from when they walked away from it.
The dark room over there in the corner, you've got the yes, and that was Frank Hurley's bunk, stove area here. You can see the different condiments and areas. Old jumper hanging off there. There's scientific monitoring equipment all around, so I've got to be a bit careful of that. But you can see all the old books.
Yeah.
How many of you on the yacht? You on
3 of us.
3, yeah. I picked it. Yeah.
You couldn't fit much more on.
No.
No, even a 3 she's packed the capacity. But we went out to the cruise ship there, it was totally different to life on Snow Petrel.
You look a bit out of place, Ben.
A bit different from poor old little Snow Petrel.
Sure is.
Wow.
Hello?
Foreigners.
Yeah.
Hello, how are you? I'm Ian.
Here we are aboard the Orion. Just had a lovely warm shower with a view to match. Pretty awesome. Had a meal, had a shower, some drinks, socialised a bit, had a look around.
The wind picked up while we were having dinner. The captain came down. He said, "I think we're going to have to get out of here. You guys will have to go, head back." And sure enough, it was really windy.
Both of them are ashore. One of them to come to the ship. It's over here.
And we were alone again. But they did leave us a nice package.
What's this? Fresh bread? I'm in heaven!
I've been poor, guys. Geez, only they said that we wanted anything. I said, oh, look, we're a bit out of bread. You haven't got a couple of loaves. You know, I said the only thing we really need is bread, sausages.
Good, great.
And they said, oh, do you want some fruit? And I said, oh, a couple of pieces might be nice.
What the hell's that?
I wonder if it's heavy.
Yeah.
And plus some other stuff. And there's some more and some veggies. Frozen beans.
Baby beans. Frozen, I say frozen here, it's from the snow.
Yeah. Cauliflower.
Oh, yeah.
And
That's
the
awesome.
main stuff.
Ah, awesome.
2 bottles of wine, I'm sure it's good stuff. And finally,
Cool.
bloody hell.
That's the winner there, I think.
Margie's also found us these awesome gloves.
And by morning it was shrieking. Yeah, so we just pulled out the books, sat around for a while, and chilled out. Nice and warm, Dad.
Cold hands.
It's blowing and blowing and blowing.
60, 70, 80 knots continuous. The whole boat covered up with ice. It was quite unreal.
After a couple of days of it, we were wondering if it was ever going to stop. And we were getting the feeling this was the windiest place in the world. We could see why it had the reputation.
Every now and then a bit of ice would break off that had been stuck up in the rigging and smash it on the deck or But it was a pretty noisy experience.
Here we are. Exactly a week since we arrived. The 4th day of solid gales. It's been blowing now for storm force basically for 4 days solid. So what we said about it being lucky in the windiest place in the world, with about 5 on us. It's far too windy to get off the boat. See how we go tomorrow. Anyway, enjoying a game of cards. It's midnight. Doesn't make any difference. We sleep till about 2 anyway. So.
Good book, Ben.
Yeah. The last one.
Out of 6.
Out of a series of 6.
It's taken you what, 4 days?
When katabatic stopped, there's a lot of ice shelves around the head of the bay, and that all collapsed. Big chunks of them were coming down and getting tangled in our ropes and stuff. By this stage, all the water tanks had frozen solid. The only water that we had was the jerry can, which had been kept in the main part of the boat, where the temperatures were above 0. So we climbed up the hill to the frozen lake, which ended up being an interesting experience.
It was just one of these sagas. It took us all day to do it, and I'd be carrying this huge barrel, you know, tromping up the hill, and then a gust of wind would come, and I'd slip over, and I'd let go of it, and the thing would roll down the hill, and the wind would catch it, and it would land in the water, and then it would start blowing out to sea. So I'd have to race down the hill, get in the dinghy, pick it up again, and so then next time I'd tie it onto me, and I'd lug myself up the hill, and the lid would unwind or something and go racing down the hill, and I'd have to spend an hour and a half trying to find the lid.
It's pretty iced up.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
And the next step really was to get out of the place before the next gale.
We were over that place after 4 days of sitting there.